Hi, this is Rob Polenic of Brutal Iron Gym. In today's video, I want to share some workout tips from my leg workout today that I thought might help your next workout. Odd camera angle here, but the first thing I'll be starting with is lying leg curls. And what I want to discuss is how I speed up the warm-up process. So I have the machine settings already where I would want. This is much heavier than where I want to start with. So I usually start with a weight that is very light, well under half of whatever I think my working set weight is going to be. And then I usually aim for high reps. Let me squish this handle back down. So I'll aim for good control, nice and slow movement, wanting to basically like fine tune and focus in on the muscle. So I don't want to just be throwing the weight, aiming to just get reps in. I'm thinking of flexing my hamstrings like I would flex like my bicep for a bicep curl. So I'm flexing and making sure that I'm maintaining constant tension. I usually will count my reps, however I've already lost count because I'm talking. But I'll usually do around 20 to 30 reps actually on this first bout of effort. My goal is to get a good deep burn, but with a very light weight, so that way if I have any tight muscle tissues, there's nothing being pulled on right away with heavy weight load. This will burn, however, the high reps and this burn does not take away from your top end capacity due to how light this weight is. So we actually want it to be somewhat uncomfortable because it'll start our body producing adrenaline and endorphins. Adrenaline is focus and aggression. Endorphins are natural painkillers. And they are starting to be produced as a response to like fight or flight, which is triggered when you have muscular pain. So this is definitely burning, and my body is starting to perceive something traumatic is happening. So it'll start to increase the production of those chemicals, which is going to help our workout performance. So I'll get a good burn, and then I usually here will just add a plate. So on this machine, it's a 20-pound increase. I did high reps, but now I'm actually going to drop my reps down low. So I might only do, say, 5 or 10 reps. And you can see it was a very short rest time. So I'm now just pushing that pump and that burn, and I'm slowly going to let the weight increase as I'm getting closer and closer to what I think my working set weight will be. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So now I got a good burn. Everything's pumped, but that was a nice, safe way to get there. I'll now take this about 10 to 20 seconds break. I'll go ahead and jump up another weight and perform a sub-maximal number of reps. So maybe my target reps is going to be between say 10 to 14. So I might only do 5 again right here, but I'm getting that weight closer and closer and closer to my target starting working set weight. So I'll get 5 good reps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, what that did is in that amount of time, I did all my warm-ups. I'll now take a normal rest time, which might be like, say, 2 minutes. Shake my legs out, let the blood in, water, all that kind of fluid balance back out. I'll get myself ready, and now I'm ready for my first working set. So instead of doing warm-ups where you do like a set of 10, 2-minute break, set of 10, 2-minute break, and it takes forever, this would be a quick and easy way that would actually do my warm-ups. So I thought that would be fun to share. Okay, so the next exercise I'll be using is our hack squat, and I'll be doing standing calf raises. So I got my warm-up sets in, but on the working sets, what I want to think of with my feet is to make my feet pigeon-toed. So you'll see in the videos, I'm going to bring my toes closer together than my heels. And then I want to think of pushing through my big toe. So when I accept the weight, I want to have my knees slightly bent. And that's going to help me get a good stretch in my calf and make sure I'm not overly tensioned in my hamstrings. If you lock your legs out, the hamstrings are tight, and that can take away some of the isolation feel that you have in the calves. So staying pigeon-toed and really thinking of pushing through the big toe ensures that I'm using the bulk of my calf muscles. Sometimes when people come up to the top and they roll out into their pinky toe, you're actually minimizing the calf contraction. So it's a way of making the contraction easier, which is why the body will default to trying to do that. The other thing you'll see here is that I'm staying slow and controlled. I'm not bouncing out of the bottom or getting to the top and like dropping. So I don't want these to be speed reps. I want to think of them as stretching and contracting a muscle, just like I would with any other exercise. So very often, too often, people kind of rush through calf raises and just think time under tension, just get the rep count is all that matters, but quality absolutely matters. Okay. Oh, don't know how many reps that was, but that was good and painful. With the calf raises, I'm pairing together our Nautilus glute drive. So this is a machine hip thrust. And the big concept I want to think of with hip thrusts is to, again, control the tempo on the way up and down. And I think of adding slight pauses as a way to ensure I'm contracting the right muscles. So I'll accept the weight, and I want to get a good stretch, and then come up and squeeze the glutes. So adding that pause at the top ensures that I'm getting a good full glute contraction. So sometimes people just kind of come to the top and drop right back down, and they never actually fully contract their glute all the way. So adding that pause is a great way to ensure that you're getting every little millimeter of contraction for the glute. So that way you can maximize the stress in the glutes as compared to, say, the hamstrings or other supporting muscles. So adding the pause helps you get a much better glute isolation, and I'm definitely feeling the burn now. But that's the main thing I think of with these, is a nice pause at the top. There we go. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna sound horribly out of breath because I'm doing this as a circuit, but these standing couch stretch is what I'm pairing with my calf raises and hip thrusts. So what I want here is I have a roll pad, and I'm putting the kind of the crease of my ankle into that pad, and then I'm letting my hips kind of sink back towards the heel of this foot. This is pulling open my hip flexor and my upper quads. The next part of the workout I'm going to be going into is more quad dominant, like large compound movements like hack squat, leg press, like lunges, things like that. So doing this stretch helps to pull open tight tissues in the upper quads, and that alleviates a lot of knee pain that people often experience. So our patella tendon, which is a tendon around our kneecap, it can be tugged and tight based on these muscles being tight, and then that causes knee discomfort, especially if somebody has long hours of sitting. These muscles tend to be very tight. So doing this before I would get into large compound movements, especially squat variations, helps to ensure that these muscles will slide and glide like they should, and make sure the knees feel as good as they should be feeling, given whatever your baseline of health is. I'll usually do 30 to 60 seconds on each side. So once I'm done, I'll switch over to the other side. Now, if you don't have these roll pads, what I do with clients is have them buy a hollow foam roller. They make like plastic cores with foam on the outside. Make sure it's hollow. You would set a bar across here with J-cups with that hollow roller, on the bar. So the bar is going inside the hollow roller. And then they just use that as their brace for this stretch. And the last exercise for today is hack squats. And there's going to be a couple tips. The first tip is depth. So we'll see as I'm doing some reps that I want to lower down to the point where I still have tension in my quads before I drive up. I don't want to lower so low that I actually sit into like this position. So my hamstrings are actually sitting against my calves. I can sit here and it's a stretch under tension, but I'm not actually active. So I don't want to actually go this low because it actually allows my muscles to, in a sense, relax at the bottom. So let me pop back up out of here. There we go. So I want to lower down to where there's still tension when I have to drive back up. So I don't want a relaxation of the muscle at the bottom of the movement. I want constant tension so that way the muscle takes the majority of the stress, not the connective tissue, and so I can optimize a lighter weight load to create the stress rather than having to go heavier to overcome those momentary breaks at the bottom. The other tip is I want to be pushing through my pinky toe and my heel. That allows me to better activate my outer quads, and it prevents my knees from caving inward, which would overdevelop the inside of the thigh. So if you really want to get quad sweep, you want to push through your pinky toe throughout the movement.